his son, your father, would go, and so it was he who had the last and hardest task. "And what was it?" said the princess, though she had heard the story many times. "I am coming to it. The task was to bring a leaf plucked and unfallen from the tree of joy, which grows at the farthest eastern edge of the world, and an apple plucked and unfallen from the tree of sorrow, that grows at the farthest western edge of the world. And when your lovely mother's father said the words of the task, he smiled, for he knew that no living man could accomplish it, and so at worst his daughter had but 6 suitors left. But he did not see the look that passed between his daughter and her 7th suitor, the look that said, 'I will do this thing,' and was answered, 'I know you will, and I will wait for you.' And wait she did. 4 of the 6 kings returned successfully from their adventures, bearing what they had been ordered to bring. The word came that the 5th king had been killed, and that the 6th had thought better of his 3rd cousin, twice removed, and went home and married her, and have always heard that the very happy," the nursemaid added doubtfully to herself, "and she's such a plain girl, with a heavy jaw and thick legs. They all say she's kind and loves her husband, but if you're king, 'twould be easy to find plain girls with thick legs to love you, a penny the dozen, and any such who was made queen would be sure to be kind from surprise. It would be easy," said the nursemaid fiercely, pleating the edge of her apron with her fingers. The princess fidgeted. "The task!" The nursemaid started and smoothed her apron and put her arm again around the princess. "Ah, yes, my love, his task. So, your lovely mother refused to choose among the 4 kings who had completed their task, saying that she would wait for the return of the last, which was only fair. The 4 kings grumbled, particularly since there was only a prince they were waiting for, and his father the king, young yet. But your lovely mother's father smiled and smiled, because he began to suspect that some such a look as had passed between his daughter and her 7th suitor must have done so, and that his daughter waited for some reason other than fairness. He was well pleased, because he knew that no living man could bring back a leaf plucked and unfallen from the tree of joy, as well as an apple plucked and unfallen from the tree of sorrow. It might take a lifetime to do just the one or the other. And then the man who came at last within the shade of either of those great trees, did he once let those branches' immortal shadows touch him, might lift a sere and curled leaf or a bruised and half-rotted apple from the ground and think his life well spent to do so much. The nursemaid was not easy with her letters, but she listened closely to every minstrel who sang in the king's halls, and she knew how a story should be told. So the father of the most beautiful woman in 7 kingdoms smiled, for he foresaw that he would not need to set further tasks for the 4 kings, now sitting at his board glowering and restless, because his daughter would refuse them all, waiting for the one who never came. And such was the love that he bore for his only daughter, and the desire for her presence, that he did not begrudge the entertainment of those 4 kings, however long they sat at table, however expensive their serving and stabling. But what he did not know was the strength of that look that had passed between the prince and the lady, for the strength between them of wanting and of need was greater than what one mortal man could do in one mortal lifetime, and so it was but a year and a day from your father setting out on his quest, not caring that it was a hopeless one, for so long as he carried the look your mother had given him deep in his heart, that he returned, because he loved her beyond life itself, and because he knew she loved him equally. He knew he must return. That knowing was greater than time and mortality. The old lord's health began to fail as soon as he set eyes on your father striding into the court of his beloved's father, his face alight with happiness and hope. But I doubt your father noticed, for he had eyes only for the raven-haired lady sitting at her father's side. But everyone else noticed, and everyone remembered that your lovely mother's father had threatened to set a 2nd task for any suitor she favored, so terribly did he want to keep her. But they said that when he saw the strength of the bond between them shining in your father's face, he did not have the heart to set any more challenges, for the strength of his own love made him recognize what he saw. Certainly he gave them his blessing when they turned to him and asked for it, but he gave it to them in the creaking voice of an old, old man, and when he passed his hands over their heads, the hands were thin and gnarled. The princess